There are many physical and genetic differences between all of us, and one of the most important and rare genetic disorder is albinism. The word albinism is derived from a Latin word albus, which means white, and it results in a complete absence of pigments in the eyes, skin, and hair. According to United Nations, in the United States, about 1 in every 1800 to 20,000 people have albinism. Meanwhile, in parts of Africa such as areas within Zimbabwe, about 1 in 1000 have albinism. But what might the world look like if everyone on earth has albinism from prehistoric times until now? Well, stay tuned to Gateway to Knowledge to know what will be the after effects of this genetic disease. The first and most common change will be a range of appearances. The most common form of albinism in the United States is oculocutaneous albinism, which interferes with the production of dark pigment melanin in both the eyes and skin. Up to today, there are 7 known subtypes of this kind of albinism, which the doctors have named as OCA1 to OCA7, and all of them depend on the subtype people having white, blonde, or brown hair. A common myth about it is that people with albinism have red eyes, although lighting conditions can make the blood vessels at the back of the eye visible, which can result in the eyes looking red or violet. Most people with albinism have blue eyes, and some have hazel or brown eyes. Another key concern for people with albinism is the delicacy of fair skin. Melanin, which is a pigment found in the hair and skin and also protects our skin against ultraviolet light, so the people with albinism have to be wary of sunburns and skin cancer. If everyone had albinism, people around the world might adopt long garments to protect their skin. Like the desert peoples in the Sahara wear hats, scarves to protect their heads and faces. They might also rely on protective coatings on their skin to serve as sunscreen. Just like the women of Himba people in Namibia regularly wear an orange or red paste known as ojais that is made up of butter fat and ochre, and it is often perfumed with the aromatic resin of Amuzumba shrub. Although Himba women use ojais for aesthetic reasons, we can also imagine a population with albinism could also conceivably create a paste to serve as a sunscreen. And those who will be affected with albinism might prefer to make their homes in the shady environments and less sunny latitude, somewhere in Norway. People with albinism may also have vision problems because structures within the eye rely on the melanin as they develop in the womb. These vision problems might lead one to expect that pre-industrial societies in a hypothetical past where everyone had albinism would have extraordinary difficulty in surviving. So if the entire human population had albinism, we might use cans, seeing eye animals, and perhaps even echolocation to help navigate the world. Still, there are people with albinism with enough functional vision to drive. But those people who are affected with albinism and have a low vision may rely on the magnifying glasses and handheld telescope to help read or just hold newsprint closer to the face. And the pre-industrial societies with albinism would likely to rely on more agriculture than on hunting. Other possibilities include trapping and fishing with a pole or net and reducing that activities which don't require eyesight. Another social impact on the people with albinism will often face a stigmatization worldwide because of how they look. Some people with albinism grow up in a very supportive environment and did not face a lot of negativity, whereas others are pretty traumatized. Of course, in a world where everyone has albinism, there would almost certainly be no stigma attached to it. Instead, albinism might be viewed as a feature that sets humanity apart and above the rest of the nature, along with the language and tool use. All in all, if everyone had albinism, it might really change what judgments we make about each other in terms of appearance. And such greetings and adjustment to the people's personal bubble of space might become standard features of society in a world where everyone had albinism. In addition, there is a lot of non-verbal communication that people with low vision have to be taught, like making an eye contact. So, if albinism was the default, the norm of making eye contact might not be a norm anymore, and this is really an unusual mental experiment. It's challenging to think about albinism as a norm and how that would change. So, to know more about such interesting and amazing topics, keep visiting our channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe along with the bell icon to get notified about my latest videos.